Hi, welcome to the Resources Roadhouse. I'm Wally. I'm with Sean Gregory. He's Managing Director of Barra Resources. Now, Sean, you've got a bit of a multi-pronged attack at Barra Resources. We've got a cobalt project, you've also got a gold project, and you've had news out on both those projects this week, to coincide with the conference. Can you give us an update on both of those? Start wherever you like.
Sure, thank you, Wally. Yeah, Barra Resources does have a dual commodity focus, and that's served us pretty well over the last 12 months. Cobalt was certainly the hot commodity last year, and a little bit of that favour has fallen out. But we believe the cobalt story is a fantastic story, linked in with the electric vehicles and the batteries, and indeed our project offers a low capital solution to meet that demand from the safe and sustainable mining environment available in Western Australia.
Yep.
So that's the cobalt side, probably about 2/3 of our business, and the other one-third is our gold assets, which is what Barra was originally floated on back in the year 2000, and they're wonderful gold assets right there near Coolgardie, and they just seem to continue to give, and in fact we put out some gold results yesterday to that effect.
Right, and so the gold project, what is it and what's happening there?
Okay, so the gold projects are around Coolgardie, and Coolgardie is of course the mother of the goldfields. That's where the gold rushes started prior to Kalgoorlie being discovered. Very high grade systems, and our Burbanks mine was in production as recently a couple of years ago, and in fact since the 1880s there's been 420,000 ounces pulled out of those deposits at an average grade of 18 grams per tonne. So really, really high grade system, and indeed we've been building the story up there. We've got 125,000 ounces of JORC resources on the table, and we've got a vision to grow that towards 500,000 ounces. And we'll do that with these staged campaigns, and in fact the most recent one we just announced yesterday, and had some really good results. Near surface stuff, while that deep stuff is down deep, these high grade narrow systems, we're just having a look at the oxide expansion of that near the surface, and it looks like that may actually be open pittable. So we'll model that up and see what we can do with it.
It's just it's good to know that there's still plenty of gold in them hills of Coolgardie.
Well, it just keeps giving. In fact, we're going over old ground that's been drilled before, and there are some drill holes that weren't properly assayed, and we've gone back and re-assayed them, and lo and behold, there's gold in them.
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic metal, and you can see why people get gold fever. But we're trying to be a little bit more measured about it, and indeed just make sure we take a strategic approach as well.
So let's head on to the cobalt, because as you sort of alluded to then, the electric vehicle industry, the kick that's given the cobalt.
Yeah.
Your cobalt project, what have we got?
Yeah, so look, we're a real solution to cobalt. We're a true cobalt project with nickel credits.
Right.
So 80% of our revenue is forecast to come from cobalt, with nickel as a handy byproduct. And look, nickel is actually tipped to be one of the hot commodities this year. Warehouse levels have halved, and indeed stainless steel growth is very strong, and then you overlay the batteries and people are looking at nickel as a hot commodity, so that'll be a useful credit for us. But our key point of difference is we can get at that cobalt, we can get at that nickel with atmospheric leaching.
Okay.
Many other projects you need $1 billion plus to get the high pressure acid leaching to crack those metals out of the minerals. Our project, we can do it, the scoping study was $212 million, which is a far more doable proposition. And indeed, because of the strategic nature of cobalt, this is of great interest to a lot of very serious multinational companies. And even those very big companies, they think $200 million is a bit of a sweet spot as well.
Yeah.
And potentially an opportunity for them to shore up supply in what is a very strategic and tightly held commodity.
Yeah. Well, in these days and times, anything that can bring down your capex and sort of and not eat into your profit, so to speak, is a good thing.
Yeah, and look. But $212 million, look, that's a lot of money to you and I, and indeed we don't have stars in our eyes of developing the project ourselves. Certainly would be possible, but we really see the best outcome for shareholders is for us to deliver a pre-feasibility study into a rising commodity market and do that lockstep with a big brother to help us develop the project. So we're in those discussions with those potential big brothers, and if we can get those three things to line up at the same time, that'll be a wonderful outcome for shareholders.
Yeah.
And look, the pre-feasibility study is progressing really, really well. We had a great scoping study in 2017, and the pre-feas is just building on that. We've managed to get, just announced just this morning, the cobalt recoveries have gone from in the scoping study, they were in the cobalt extractions were in the mid-70s, we've now got them up to the mid-80s, and indeed the nickel extractions, we've got them from the mid-20% up to the low 30%. And what that means, Wally, is that that's more revenue for the project.
Yep.
And we've found that we can do that without expensive reagents. So we thought we'd have to add some expensive acid into the mix, but we've actually been able to do it just with some smart control of the parameters during the leach. So look, that's helping to offset the commodity prices which have come off. So we're very pleased with that.
All right, well, it sounds like there's a whole heap of news coming out, Sean, from both projects. And I think we're going to be looking forward to reading all about them when they're coming out. Even more important, bringing them to you on the Resources Roadhouse.
Good on you, Wally.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks for that. Cheers.